Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever the hell the time is by you. This is a very important video about a very important man. A man you may know as Bob Lavari. Now you may be wondering, who is Bob Lavari? Well, he is a man. He likes to wear a khaki sport jacket. Doesn't matter what time of year it is. It could be hot. It could be cold. It could be sunny. It could be rainy. He could be selling you a car. He could be producing a television show. He could be at your barbecue. He could be riding a horse. He could be riding your horse. And at the end of the day, Bob Lavari, or Bob Lavari, is a man. And he is a man that you respect. Mr. Lavari has always been a fan of birds. Colorful birds. Beautiful birds. The best birds. Bob knows the best words. Bob will make you the best steak, seared perfectly on a cast iron skillet. He'll even put cloves of garlic in there, have them caramelize, put a little bit of thyme, and he'll slowly baste your steak. You'll also let it rest for about 10 minutes. And when he slices that steak open for you, you will notice that Bob Lavari has cooked you the perfect medium rare steak. And if you want it done at a different wellness, just ask Bob. That's what Bob is here for. To make you the best piece of meat he possibly could. That is who Bob Lavari is. Now I have a question for you. What do you know about the life that Bob lives? Bob is the man at the barbecue that will continue to speak to you no matter where you are at that 4th of July celebration. You may want to go talk to someone else. Bob won't let you. You may want to eat your glizzy in peace. But Bob will tell you about every single accomplishment in his life. And you will listen to everything. And if Bob thinks that you were not listening, Bob will tell you the entire story again. And while this is happening at a barbecue on a hot, sunny day, you will begin to smell Bob's sweat and his cheap cologne that more than likely he got at the bodega right down the road from where you're having this barbecue. Bob loves onions. Bob loves garlic. And when you're around Bob, his presence is known. You will smell those onions. They will smell strong, and they will smell soaked in the cheap cologne that Bob has poured all over himself. He bought that bottle from the bodega and poured every ounce all over his middle-aged man body. That is because Bob Lavari is a man. Bob Lavari is your man. He is everyone's man. Bob doesn't always wash his hands after he uses the men's room. Bob likes to live life dangerously. Bob is the kind of man that opens up a dating profile and uses a picture from 20 years ago, when Bob still had hair. And then he expects the woman to show up and still find him irresistible. Bob Lavari is a man. Bob, he's also the kind of man that he does have a gym membership. But Bob does not use the gym to exercise. Bob simply uses the gym for the tanning beds. Bob gets his tanning goggles. He has on a blue thong, and he makes sure he is as golden brown as possible. Bob has the typical middle-aged man chest hair. And before he puts on his sports coat, which is khaki colored, he makes sure that the top 3 buttons of his button-down shirt under his sports coat are unbuttoned, so he can impress you with his chest hair and pure, raw masculinity. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Bob Lavari is your man, and he is my man. He is all of us. And he wants you to appreciate the glistening chest hair that he has. Bob makes the sacrifice of showing his chest hair for you. He doesn't need to do that. He could simply hide that chest hair. But Bob is a brave man. He's built different than you and I. So what would your life be without Bob Lavari? You may need to take more fiber. You might become irregular. If Bob didn't exist, how would you learn to ride a horse? You wouldn't see birds in the sky. You wouldn't see the sun. You wouldn't see the stars on a clear night if it was not for Bob Lavari. If it was not for Bob, the lights in your home may not turn on. When you turn the ignition in your car, it may not start if there was no Bob. All of your favorite hobbies would cease to exist if Bob Lavari did not roam this planet. That is the true power of that man. Respect Bob. Bob's diet is very simple. When Bob wakes up, he has sausage for breakfast. For lunch, Bob will enjoy some hot Italian sausage. Maybe he'll make a sandwich of it. Go to his local deli and have them make him a hero filled with sausage and peppers. Once Bob is done with lunch, he will continue on with his day, and for dinner, you guessed it, more sausage for Bob. To wash that sausage down, Bob may have a Coke. He's a sausage man, Bob. He lives for sausage. He's a meat man. And you should meet Bob. Let's discuss birds again for a moment. Bob's home is filled with birds. Beautiful birds. Bob has several cockatoos. One is white and one is pink. One thing interesting about Bob's birds is they say some unsavory things. Words that only Bob could teach them. That concerns me. Because what could be going on in Bob's home to make those birds say such bizarre things? Bob loves to go to the beach. It's where he gets to show off his heavily tanned, middle-aged, oiled-up, hairy man body. Bob doesn't wear beach shorts, oh no. Bob is a blue thong man. When Bob goes to the beach, he wants to impress the ladies with his brown, hairy body while wearing his bright blue thong. Bob is a very confident man. I suggest you respect Bob for his confidence. Bob Lavari is the kind of man who has vast amounts of knowledge on every single topic. Bob may not even be able to turn on his own computer. But if Bob overhears someone asking for advice about purchasing a new laptop or a new PC or even an Apple product, Bob has never once touched any computer. But even though Mr. Lavari knows nothing about technology, he will talk your ear off and give you advice on purchasing a new PC, even though he knows nothing about computers. Bob does not have a medical degree. He knows nothing about medicine. But if Bob overhears you speaking of an ailment that you have, Bob will become your physician. He will prescribe you medicine. He will diagnose you. He will tell you your whole medical history, and even though he may be wrong about everything, he is right about everything. Because remember, he is Bob Lavari. And Bob Lavari is a man who is never wrong. Bob's body odor is robust. And this is not because of his cheap bodega cologne. This is because Bob is a natural man. Bob does not use deodorant. He does not use antiperspirant. Bob is hygienic. He does shower. But Bob rather be natural and let his manly middle-aged man sense emanate from his natural body. No Old Spice for Bob. No Old Spice for Bob on those Bob armpits. The only odor you will smell from Bob is his cheap cologne, his onions, his garlic, and his natural Bob Lavari fragrance. Savor it. That's what a real man smells like. Bob has a bizarre passion for lemons. You see, Bob is a Diet Coke man. And whether he's relaxing at home or at a fine dining restaurant, Bob will always have to have a Diet Coke with a slice of lemon. Now, what Mr. Lavari will do to that lemon will shock you. See, an ordinary man would simply twist the lemon into their drink and discard it and enjoy their beverage. But not Mr. Lavari. He takes the lemon slice and sucks it dry. By the time Bob is done sucking on that slice of lemon, it will be as dry as a fresh, untouched paper napkin. Bob takes great pleasure in the amount of power that he can utilize while sucking his fruits dry. Because Bob Lavari is a powerful man. with a powerful mustache and a very powerful mouth. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I have introduced you to Bob Lavari, a very hairy man, a man who looks like someone who would run a 2-star Italian restaurant. But he would lie and tell everyone it was a 4-star restaurant. Bob looks like the man you would see every weekend at the bowling alley, and he would make sure everyone there knew every single accomplishment he has ever had in his life. And when Bob goes back a week later, he will repeat these same stories about these same accomplishments to the very same people. And if there are different people there, Bob will retell every single story about every single accomplishment to the new group of people at the bowling alley. That, ladies and gentlemen, is who Bob Lavari is. There will be more Bob, but for this evening, our story is done. It is because of Bob Lavari and this very ASMR video that he made happen that you will rest easy tonight. Sleep well. And thank you, Mr. Lavari.